Hello and welcome to What the F Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. Welcome to day 994. Joe Biden condemned the attack by Hamas against Israel, saying it is terrorism and that Israel has a right to respond to this act of sheer evil. Comparing Hamas to the terrorist group ISIS, Biden said, "Our hearts may be broken, but our resolve is clear. We'll make sure the Jewish and democratic state of Israel can defend itself today, tomorrow, as we always have." He also promised ammunition and other assistance to ensure that Israel does not run out of these critical assets to defend its cities and its citizens. Biden also said that he would ask Congress to urgently fund the national security requirements of our critical partners. The assault by Hamas militants over the weekend killed more than 1,000 people in Israel, including at least 14 Americans. While the Biden administration urged Israel to respond to the attack in a proportionate manner, it didn't set any red lines. Israel has since mobilized 360,000 reservists and ordered a complete siege and bombardment of the Gaza Strip, where at least 900 Palestinians have already been killed, including 260 children, as well as another 4,500 who have been wounded so far. Biden's national security advisor, meanwhile, accused Iran of being complicit in the attack, saying they have provided the lion's share of the funding for the military wing of Hamas. They provide training, they have provided capabilities, and they have provided support, and they have had engagement in contact with Hamas over the years and years. The Pentagon also warned Iran and Hezbollah, an Iran-backed militia in Lebanon, against joining the fight. Moving on, Republicans remain divided over who will be the next Speaker of the House, although a group of Kevin McCarthy's allies have discussed nominating him again for the speakership. House Republicans are scheduled to hear from Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan, the two current declared Republican contenders for Speaker. A party vote is scheduled for Wednesday, followed by a formal election on the floor of the House. It remains unclear, however, if Jordan, Scalise, or McCarthy can get the 217 votes necessary to earn the Speaker's gavel. Meanwhile, Justice Clarence Thomas renewed his call for the Supreme Court to reconsider libel laws as the court declined to revisit the landmark 1964 First Amendment case in New York Times v. Sullivan, which requires public figures suing for defamation to prove that the defendant had acted with actual malice. In his own separate opinion, Thomas said that while he agreed the court should not take up Blankenship v. NBC Universal, leaving the precedent in place comes at a heavy cost, allowing media organizations and interest groups to cast false aspersions on public figures with near impunity. Thomas has come under scrutiny recently for failing to disclose that he's accepted at least 38 vacations, 26 private jet flights, 8 flights by helicopter, a dozen VIP passes to sporting events, 2 stays at luxury resorts in Florida and Jamaica, and a standing invitation to play at a high-end private golf club in Florida from several billionaire benefactors since 1991. Moving on, Trump's $250 million civil fraud trial entered its second week, with the Trump Organization's longtime financial chief taking the stand. Alan Weisselberg testified that he once certified that Trump's financial statements were true, correct, and complete in order to prevent loan default, and that he urged the firm's controller to add a 30% brand premium for 7 of Trump's golf courses, and that from 2011 until Trump became president, he would give Trump the statements of financial condition before they were finalized. After Trump was elected, Weisselberg said he would give the statements to Trump Jr. or Eric Trump. New York Attorney General Letitia James sued Trump, Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and the Trump Organization executives last year, accusing them of engaging in a decade-long scheme of numerous acts of fraud and misrepresentation in order to inflate Trump's net worth while lowering his tax burden. The trial is expected to run until December. Trump again demanded that the trial be dismissed because he claims it's an election interference witch hunt and everybody knows it. Separately, Trump is facing 4 upcoming criminal trials, federal and state charges in Georgia for allegedly trying to overturn the 2020 election, federal charges in Florida for allegedly possessing classified documents after leaving office and obstructing government efforts to get them back, and state charges in New York for allegedly falsifying business records in connection with a hush money payment in 2016. Meanwhile, special counsel Jack Smith asked the judge overseeing Trump's federal election obstruction case to implement protections for potential jurors, calling Trump's use of social media a weapon of intimidation. The government asked for limited restrictions on how both sides can research and use information about prospective jurors, but requested that the court strictly enforce the existing rules that shield jurors' personal information. Smith's team noted that the judge in Trump's $250 million New York State civil fraud trial imposed a gag order last week after Trump disparaged his law clerk online. Prosecutors wrote, given that the defendant, after apparently reviewing opposition research on court staff, chose to use social media to publicly attack a court staffer, there is cause for concern about what he may do with social media research on potential jurors in this case. Judge Tanya Chutkin is set to hear oral arguments on the government's proposed limited gag order next week. And finally, Joe Biden voluntarily met with the special counsel investigating how classified documents ended up at his private office and Delaware home. Special counsel Robert Hur is examining the retention of classified documents from Biden's time as a senator and as vice president. Biden has said that he was unaware that he had the documents and that there's no there there. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.